If you are migrating from Pipedrive to HubSpot, in this video, I want to show you the number one thing that I would recommend that you do in the migration process. And that is before you start moving all of the data, you want to make sure that you have cross-referenced the record IDs from Pipedrive to HubSpot and then HubSpot back to Pipedrive. So I call this the round trip of a migration. And this is an absolute lifesaver later on when you need to go update certain fields in bulk across all the contacts or across all the deals. This is how you're going to be able to do that weeks or months after migration takes place. And it also really helps with identifying which records inside your old CRM, in this case, Pipedrive, are not in your new CRM yet. So this process is absolutely essential. It's the first thing I do with every single migration we do here at Boolean. And I want to walk through step by step exactly how we do that and why we do it the way that we do. So this is a step-by-step walkthrough with me doing it live with real data from Pipedrive to HubSpot and then back to Pipedrive. This is the first phase of a solid migration. And then later you would plan the full data migration in the business, but we'll cover that in a separate video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I am the owner of Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. We work with painting companies to automate their business processes. As much of the data entry, reporting, and all that stuff that just bogs businesses down, we want to eliminate all of that, have computers do more of that work, and free your people up to do the projects, the problem solving, the conversations that they love having with your clients. So if you're a painting company, we would love to chat. I actually pulled together, I have a timer here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to try and do this entire thing in 1 hour. So we're going to start this timer, move it to the corner here. We can see there's my little counter, and I'm going to, clock's ticking. So let's get going. First thing is I got my HubSpot account set up. I have my Pipedrive account that I'm going to be exporting data from. I have a Google Sheet ready that I'm going to be using occasionally for manipulating some data. And that's all I need. So let's dive in. First thing we're going to do is go over to the settings here, go to tools and apps, click export data. And then you want to go through each one of these and click leads. And then I want a CSV export deals. I want entire list of details, CSV, export, organizations, entire list of deals, CSV, export, people, same thing. And I did this for all of the following files already. So, and I want to make sure that we still see my timer. So let's move this slightly up so now you guys can still watch that. All right, so now I just need to go through, we're going to do deals first. So I am going to export the deal file, or wait, whoops, that is, I want the deals. Let's just do all of them. So that was people, organizations, deals, and leads. So now I've gotten all of them there, and then I'm going to go over to HubSpot, search for import, and in the, whoops, I want all settings, import, export, go to import, import a file, start import, deals, next. And actually, you know what I've never tried before is, let's say that I want to do companies, contacts, and deals all at the same time. Wonder what's going to happen there. Start import, companies, contacts, deals. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do one at a time. So let's do deals first and go to my deals CSV. So I drag that in here. Oh, and the one thing that I almost forgot to mention before you do this, what you need to do is in the properties section, we want to go to properties, and in deal properties, we want to create a field that is called Pipedrive Deal ID. So that is a critical thing that we're going to use to store the Pipedrive record ID for the deal in the property and HubSpot. And then we're going to export the deals that we just create and then import that back into Pipedrive. So let's go back to the import here. So go to import and go to import a file, start import, deals, next, grab that file. And what I want to do is just create deals. I don't have any deals to update, so I'm just going to be creating new ones. And there's no deal to deal associations in this import. So I can click next. And now it's going to ask me to decide which fields to import. And the ID field here, this is your record ID in Pipedrive. So this is where I want to do my Pipedrive deal ID. And then I'm going to bring in the title. So deal, this is going to be deal name. And then after that, I actually don't care about any of these other fields currently because I'm going to be able to do all of this later. So you can see that it does require that we put all of the deals into a pipeline and a deal stage. So those are the only things that I have to have. So I'm going to click don't import. And we can go ahead and import the value. That's fine. And currency of value would be I don't even think that's necessary. We're not going to import that. Don't import. So we got a bunch of fields here that we are not importing. And pipeline. Okay, so in this one, it says I've got 153 errors. So there's the pipeline. In this previous one, it was called, and we want to map all of these to the marketing pipeline. And it doesn't matter where you put them for this first initial thing. We're just trying to get all of the records into HubSpot, get the record IDs from HubSpot, and that's it for this first phase. So I fixed that. I can hit don't import all of these. The stage, again, so many different stages. And we're just going to have everything go into lead not contacted. So every single one of these is going to be lead not contacted. And there we go. The rest of these can be don't import. Almost to the bottom here. And next time I'm going to delete all these properties that I don't need. Actually, I can just click that. Look at that beautiful thing. Don't import data in unmapped columns. So let's go ahead and don't import that. And the rest are unmapped. That would have been good to do a while ago. So I click next. This is going to be deals round trip. And so what this is, I'm going to click finish import. Import is processing. And then while that's importing, I'm going to go back to import history and start another import. And we're going to do contacts this time. So let's do the contact list that I got. And the contact list, people. and we want to just create new contacts only. Click next. And now in this one, the only thing I need once again is I need a contact property that's called Pipedrive person ID, because in Pipedrive it calls them people ID, I think. Let's double check. Yes, they are called people. So we are going to create a new property, and we're going to make this called Pipedrive people ID. I guess I'm going to say person. I can't stand that. So Pipedrive person ID, and click create. So create that. We're going to import the name. Let's go ahead and just put it into the first name field. We don't need any of those. Phone. You know what? Might as well put the mobile number in. And then we want let's do the, oh, you know what? We already ran into the first thing that I'm realizing with this. So before we do people, we are going to import the people list into Excel. So let's do this, or into Google Sheets. And we want to insert new sheet. Okay. So again, we're going to call this Pipedrive person ID. We have the name. I don't need any of this other stuff for the phone and all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and not import phones this time around. We'll get it next time. For the emails, I want to make sure that I get all the emails into a single column. So what I like doing is just sort the sheet by this email, then we're going to do this one, and then this one. So, and we can see very quickly that there are, I don't believe, let's clip these, format, clip. So it looks like we do not have any other emails. Yep, so there's actually no other emails. And then the home emails, we just have a handful. So we're going to take these, move them from that into this one. And then we don't want to import all these that just have slashes. That's not going to help, and it's going to create problems when we import the emails. So this is just going to be our official contact email field. And the rest of this, home, I actually don't need any of this. And we are going to not import. Oh, there we go. We do have the first name and last name column, so let's keep that. So we're not going to do the name, just going to do first name, last name, email, and yes, we can do address as well. We're going to do city, state, region, all right. So we have just the stuff that we need here. Now I'm going to export this, download as a CSV. and go back to HubSpot. Let's get a new file. So we're going to go grab that new person one, migration data people. And we want to create new contacts only. So I've got my Pipedrive person ID, the email. Looks like we've got a number of invalid emails here. So that was good. Should have checked that. So in the email here, let's go ahead and sort A to Z. So we're looking for where so like all these ones that just say painting, that is not an email address, obviously. Whoops, I don't want to delete that. I just want to delete the values there. And let's sort one more time. So I'm deleting all of the invalid emails. And then the other thing I almost forgot we want to do is any of these contacts that have duplicate email addresses. So we're going to click to the right, and this is going to be number of duplicates. So this I'm going to do find if, or sorry, count if, and the range is going to be column B, and I want to count it if it equals this. Then I'm going to take that formula, copy it all the way to the bottom, and what that does is this is now going to show us all of these have duplicates. We don't want any of those because they're not real emails. And then we have a bunch here. So this is a duplicate contact that shows up over and over again, and we're only going to be able to import one of these. It's not going to let us import all of them. So what we're going to do there is, looks like more without an email, more without an email, or clean up all those non-emails. And then for all of these, just keep in mind that all these ones that are duplicates, only one of them is going to be able to be imported into HubSpot. And you'll see what happens in just a moment when we do that. Framing, fencing, house painting. Okay, no, I think we're good after that. So let's go ahead and export this one more time, download CSV, go back to import, and we are going to go back, choose a different file. All right, so we're using contact person ID. The email is going to the email field. Number of duplicates, we don't need. First name going to first name, last name going to last name. Labels don't need. Address going to street, city, state. country, and postal. All right, now hit next. So this is going to be Pipedrive people, round trip, create contacts in a list. I agree. I don't want to set them as marketing contacts, finish import. So let's go back to the import history. And I just created all these deals and there was 690 errors. So I always like looking at what the errors were. So we had missing required property. So it's saying that there was no deal stage on some of these. Pending interior. So we have a couple ones that are not going to be imported, but that's okay because I'll show you what happens here. So if we go back to, let's view the deals that I just imported. And all I need to export, if I edit the columns, is that Pipedrive deal ID. And I don't need any of this actually. All I need, Pipedrive deal ID, the deal name, and the record ID from HubSpot. So those are the 3 fields that I'm going to export. And I'm going to click export, CSV, export. And now I'm going to switch over to contacts because I just imported those as well. Or maybe they're still importing. All contacts. There we go. It's still importing, so we'll come back to that in a moment. Now let's go back to Pipedrive, and then inside of Pipedrive, we need to go to our data. So let's go to company settings, and then we have our data fields. And in the deal fields, I need to make sure that I create a custom field specifically for, what did I call that? Here we go, HS deal ID. So I need to make a field that's just called HS deal ID. And that's what I'm going to be importing to those records. So if I go back to tools and apps, I'm going to import data, and I'm going to take that file that I downloaded from my deals. So where's the export? So here's all deals ready to download. So I download that file, go to Pipedrive. And so this is the record ID from HubSpot. So I would change this, or the field that I want is HS deal ID from the deal. So I'm going to put that there. And then the deal name, I don't need to import. And the Pipedrive would be the ID, Pipedrive system ID for the deal. And those are the 2 things that I need. So basically what I'm doing is I'm updating all the deals that I just exported with the HubSpot deal ID. So I can go ahead and click next. And that's the system ID. Click start import. And while that's running, let's go back to HubSpot and look at our contacts. So we got 12,641 contacts, and I want to edit columns again, remove everything except Pipedrive person ID and the record ID. So those are the only fields that I need to export. Export CSV. Let's track the export audit. And so while that's processing, let's go check on Pipedrive. So that's still importing. And then we're waiting on this to finish exporting. So let's move on to companies. So now we're going to go to import, and we're going to do the companies now. Start import, companies, next. And once again, before we move it into there, I'm going to import the company file into Google Sheets just to delete the fields that I don't need. And company, we're going to do organizations. And let's do organizations will be insert new sheet. All right. And then in the organizations here, we are going to do, we need the name of the company. If there is a URL, maybe. This looks promising. So we have the company website. That's where we're definitely going to keep that. And then clear out this, we could do the address. So street, delete, and this is going to be delete. So we have city, state, region, country, postal code. And then this, don't need any of that. And don't need that. Don't need the label. And this is the Pipedrive organization ID. And update time, none of that, don't need it. So all I'm importing here is the name, the address, the city, state, region, postal code, and the website. So let's go ahead and download this. Download as a CSV. And let's go back to my import. So we're going to bring in that company file. And I just need to create new companies only. Next. And I've got my Pipedrive. Oh, did not create one. So let's go ahead and create one. And we're going to call this Pipedrive Organization ID. Company. Field type. Always make these just a single line text. And show, and we don't need to do that. Create. So Pipedrive ID is getting to that field, the name of the company, company name, street address, city, state, country, postal, and the website URL. So that's all I need there. Click, and we're going to call this Pipedrive organization round trip. Finish that. And back to contacts. So now I can download contacts. And let's go to Pipedrive. Still waiting on the import. Import data. So while it looks like we could do multiple files, so while that's running, we can. Oh, so I have to wait. View progress. This is going to kill my record or my time. So while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and plan ahead on the next thing here. So one of the things that I like to do, and the reason that we are doing this import, like get the record IDs and then go back, is because inside of here, if I make a list view, I'm going to make a new filter or field. So I'm going to add a new filter, and this is going to be called where the deal, and we're going to call it the HS deal ID, is empty. So I want to make a list to show me all of the deals in here that do not have a HubSpot deal ID. And we're going to call this deals not yet in HubSpot. And I always like putting migration, all of those in the front. and we're going to make this a private one, so only we can see this because no one else in the company needs to. I click save. And so right now there's 2,157 deals that do not have a HubSpot deal ID. And you might say, well, why would you need that? And the answer is because I want to know, and I'm going to uncheck a lot of these. So deal created, don't care about that. I want the HS deal ID and then the title. And maybe stage. Okay, so I hit save. And now this is just showing me, here's all the deals. And now you can see there's 1,951 because as those, as the import happens, more and more of the records are going to get a deal ID. And so in the meantime, I know exactly which deals in Pipedrive have not been imported to HubSpot and back to Pipedrive. Same thing we're going to do for a contact filter here. So we're going to go over to our contacts. And we want to make another filter here. So we're going to say add new filter. And this one, we're going to say person, HS. Oh, we haven't made our fields for this yet. Let's go do that. So we're going to go back to company settings, data. I need to make a person field, custom. And this is going to be HS contact ID. And add a person field, ungroup. The field type is just going to be text. And I'm going to hit save. HS contact ID. Now let's make the organization one. And here we're going to go HS company ID. And this is also going to be a text field. Click save. And now I can go back to, let's go check the status of that import. Getting closer. Okay. So we need to go make my contact one. So contacts, and we are going to do new filter. And this is going to be the person HS. Up, I need to refresh. What match? Did I not save the thing I just made? Deal. So there is HS contact ID. Interesting. Why is that not showing up? Refreshing. Let's go to contacts once again. There we go. It just took a second to populate. So HS contact ID is empty. And again, we're going to say people not in HubSpot. And we're going to call this migration, people not in HubSpot. Save it. And then the last one we want to do is organizations. Do the same thing. New filter. HS company ID is empty. And we're going to call this migration organizations not in HubSpot. All right, so we've made those. And I think we could do the leads while we're waiting for this as well. So I do want to make sure that I see as soon as the import is done, because that seems to be the thing that's going to take the longest here. So we are nearing completion there. That's good. Let's go move on to the leads. So one of the things that is important to note when it comes to leads and deals in Pipedrive, they are similar, but they are separate things. Whereas in HubSpot, we are going to import the leads as deals as well. And they're just going to be deals that are in the marketing pipeline. So what we're going to do is grab that or import that lead list that I have or that I exported from Pipedrive. So we have our leads. Whoops. Upload. Insert new. And so here is our, wow, the lead ID is way longer. So we have the lead ID and then the title of the lead looks like that. And then we need to have all those. And again, we can bring all these fields in later. I just want to make sure that we have the most essential stuff. So let's go ahead and clear this out. And here we're going to call this pipeline. And this is helpful because not contacted, because HubSpot does require that you import a pipeline and a stage. So we'll just put all of them in here for the time being. So now they all have a pipeline and a stage. And then the list name, I'm not going to import that right now. Delete. HubSpot deal ID doesn't exist for any of these yet. So we have a job address and notes field. So that's what we're going to go with. This is going to be the deal name. This is going to be the Pipedrive lead ID. And let's go ahead and download this. So download as a CSV. Let's go check on our import. Okay, sweet. So the first one's done. Let's do a new import. And we now need to get the contacts from HubSpot. We're going to go back over to here. This is all the contacts in HubSpot. So this is going to be the record ID is not the deal ID. This is a HS contact. Pipedrive. And we want this to be ID. Pipedrive system ID. So I'm not going to import first name and last name. So all we're doing is looking up the Pipedrive person ID based on the system, and we're importing the record ID from HubSpot into the HS contact ID field. So we're going to click next. And that's good. Row validate data 20 rows. Yeah. So ooh, that looks odd. Hold on a second. So let's go look at the contacts here. Aha. So this is a problem. It's doing a formatted number, and I want an unformatted number. That's actually a critical mistake there. So we need to go back to my contact list. And now you can see, there we go. Now there's no period at the end. That would actually cause a big problem on the import. So I'm glad we caught that. So let's go export again as a CSV. It's going to take a second. And while that's exporting, let's look at our company list. And we can do the same thing with our columns here. So we have the record ID and the Pipedrive organization ID. Doesn't want to show us that. Why is that? Let's refresh. That's odd. There we go. It was weird that I didn't want to come in. Record ID. All right. So we have our company export. Let's do that. Export as a CSV. Let's track the progress. Contacts are almost done. I can download my contacts. And then let's go back to here. So we're going to go back. Pick a different file. Cancel. All right, so I have my HS deal. Nope, I want my HS contact ID for this. Don't need the first name, don't need the last name. And then I just need the Pipedrive system ID for the person. Okay, so we have our Pipedrive person ID going to the Pipedrive person, HubSpot contact ID going there. Now let's hit next. It's going to validate. Does this look good? Yes. So this Pipedrive system ID looks good. The HubSpot contact, let's go next. What do you want to do with duplicates if found? People with the same name and email are merged into one. Create multiple records. Yes, we do want to merge those. So we're going to go ahead and click Start Import. And let's go back to leads. So we're working on leads. Do we get this exported? All right, so we can go back to import here. Import a file, start import, and we are going to do deals because that's where we're going to put the leads. And then we're going to take the leads, migration data, and I want to create new deals only. Next. So I have my Pipedrive lead ID, and this one I actually don't want to put it in the deal ID. I do want to create a separate one. So I'm going to create a separate one that is called Pipedrive lead ID. It's going to be a single line text. Review properties, Pipedrive lead ID. It's deal information, and that's good. So create that. I will import the deal name. Job address can be street. The notes can go into description. pipeline, and stage. That's fine. So I am ready to go here. We're going to call this deals or Pipedrive leads round trip and finish that. All right, now let's go check on our, this is working away. And if we go check out the list here, so we made a couple lists. Let's go back to our deal list that we made. And now you can see we have 348 deals that did not get into HubSpot. And that's good to know because now we could export these and re-import. Or maybe the other thing that can happen is in the time that you are migrating, if new deals are getting added to your system, you want to make sure that you're not importing deals that already exist and creating duplicates, but also you don't want to forget about deals that have been created in Pipedrive since you initially did your import. So this list gives you only the deals that don't exist, meaning we need to export those back into HubSpot. So what we're going to do here is from this view, if I just have the HS deal ID, let's go ahead and get the record ID. The deal ID from there, and then we have the title, stage, pipeline, and let's do the value also. Oh, the value is there. Okay, so save that. This is the Pipedrive deal ID. That's the HubSpot deal ID. So I'm going to go ahead and click export filter results as a CSV, export, download. So there's my file, deals, and then we go over to import a file, start import, deals. Create new deals only. All right, so here we have the deal, HubSpot deal ID, which in this case, none of the ones that I have exist. So I'm just going to say don't import that. The deal name, deal stage, and before I do that, it looks like I got to bring this in. So we're going to do file, import, upload. So there's all my deals. These are the deals that didn't get imported before. And the reason they didn't get imported before was because the stage name here there was a bunch of random ones that were not. Okay, so there's only a handful left. So we actually should be able to map all those. So right here where it says 348, we want those that are say rescheduled. We're just going to move to lead not contacted, lead not contacted, lead not contacted, lead not contacted. And the reason that it doesn't matter what field they go into for now is because all I care about is getting that ID. Then I can come back and do updates on specific like properties that I miss or want to redo later. And this we're going to map to pipeline deal value to amount, and the deal ID, which is from Pipedrive. We want this to go to the Pipedrive deal ID, not the lead ID, the deal. And go ahead and click next. Pipedrive deal round trip part 2. Okay, so I exported those 348, and let's go back to my list for tools, import. Let's view the progress. Man, that I did not anticipate this taking so long. So I can't do a new import. You can upload a new file when the current one is completed. So this is going to ruin our chance at doing this in under an hour. So that's still working away on the contacts. Let's see if there's anything else that we could do here. So the key with this approach is that we're trying to identify which records in the various objects, so contacts, companies, deals, etc., which of them are not in the new system. So by doing it the way that we have done this, if we look at like contacts, which are actively being imported right now, and we go down to the filter that I just made, that is called not oh whoops, this is organizations. I want people, and I want migration, people not in HubSpot. So you can see here that we're at 11,179. That says it's not in HubSpot, but that's because we're actively, it's actively being imported at the moment. So if we clear all this out and show just the HS contact ID, there we go. So now you can see it already dropped down to 10,995. And that's because every time, or as those, that import happens, we're whittling down this list to just the few that had errors or duplicates that didn't get imported. And then in HubSpot, we know every record in Pipedrive has been or now exists inside of HubSpot. So let's, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the end because of how long these imports are taking. But is there anything else we could do here? So we have our, let's look at export. So we did export all the companies. We can export the leads now. So let's go back to deals. And then this one is our Pipedrive deal ID. So we're going to also show the Pipedrive lead ID. And then I want to make a filter that's going to show Pipedrive lead ID is known. So only show me the records where it has a Pipedrive lead ID. I don't want to see anything else. So there's 11,325 records where the Pipedrive lead ID is known. And if we go look in Pipedrive to validate or verify that, I can go look at our leads, and let's take away all filters. And we have 10,860. And when I look in, so that's odd. How do we end up with more? So 10,860 plus, what does that equal? So 10,860 plus 465, 11,325, 11,325. Perfect. So all leads have been imported into HubSpot. And then we can check the same thing for companies. So we have 3,596 company records. Let's go look at the organizations. So contacts, organizations. There is 3,117, and we have 3,596. So is this another one of those, some archived ones? Yeah, so there must be some old deals that are some old deals that, or old companies that haven't been imported, or that were deleted, and that's why there's a higher number. So let's go look at our import. What's our status? Man, that's going to take a long time. Well, that is all that we can do for now. So I'll be back with the next piece of this. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hopefully this was valuable. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to reach out. And then in the next video, we'll talk through the next steps of a migration.